There are approximately 42 secret communities in the world. There are many secret or private facilities in the U.S. Most are secret for military purposes, one is a presidential retreat not listed on a map, and one a possible UFO containment area. In this video, I will address 3 of them with more to follow. A famous one is Los Alamos, New Mexico, a very beautiful and pristine town. It is in the mountains northwest of Santa Fe, New Mexico. I love Los Alamos and spent much time there when I lived in Santa Fe. Historically, it was formed in 1942 when the Department of War was looking for a very private spot to create a secret weapon and seize the land under the law of eminent domain. The people who lived there were paid for it at fair market value, and the Los Alamos National Laboratory was born. It was the site where they developed the atomic bomb. Los Alamos was very secretive, and the people who came to live there, scientists, support staff, and their families, were monitored. Their telephone calls and mail screened to make sure the location and any information they had remained in the facility. When shipments of goods came in, they were labeled as ordinary items to keep secret what was coming into the community. Probably the most famous resident of Los Alamos was J. Robert Oppenheimer, the physicist that developed the atomic bomb. It was Oppenheimer and General Leslie Groves that requested a shielded location and well-stocked laboratory to develop their weapon. Originally, the personnel in the community were to be commissioned U.S. Army, but Oppenheimer was underweight, with a chronic cough. He could not pass physical but did follow the process from beginning to end. So, he was a hands-on developer and could ferret out issues quickly. Another interesting point about Oppenheimer, as I digress, is that he was affiliated loosely with the communists in the U.S. When I say loosely, I mean his girlfriend Jean Tatlock had left-leaning parents. Oppenheimer supported left progressive/socialist agendas by donating money and attending meetings. Later, when he married, his wife Catherine was a former communist member. Many of his associates were also communists. The FBI opened a file on him in 1941, and he was under investigation by the FBI throughout his time at Los Alamos. He left Los Alamos in late 1945 for Caltech in California. The atomic bomb was first tested near Alamogordo in New Mexico on July 16, 1945. Later, it was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan on August 6, 1945, and a second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan on August 9, 1945. Thus, ending the war in the Pacific arena. Los Alamos also developed the hydrogen bomb in 1940s. Today the town is not private. I have driven up that 2-lane road to the top of the hill and into this lovely little town many times. It is beautiful, clean, and welcoming. The Los Alamos National Laboratory is a hub of scientific research and development. It works with integrated nanotechnologies, IT and algorithms for computational science or computer science, nuclear research, global security, and much more. You can visit the facility today. They have the wonderful Bradbury Museum for all things Manhattan Project. Oak Ridge, Tennessee is another secret World War II town. It is just west of Knoxville, Tennessee. The University of Chicago created the Clinton Laboratories to perform advanced nuclear experiments. Later, the name was changed to the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. The Oak Ridge National Laboratory land was purchased by General Leslie Groves. The area was 59,000 acres in 1942. Enrico Fermi was a world-class physicist who worked with Oppenheimer at Los Alamos. Then the setup in Oak Ridge was like Los Alamos in that there were guards and security as you entered the town. When you were hired, you took a lie detector test to work there. Fermi was the first scientist in the U.S. to conduct a nuclear fission experiment in 1939 when he was at Columbia University. He received a Nobel Prize in Physics for finding the existence of new radioactive elements produced by neutron irradiation. Interesting side note, he was one of the first to warn military leaders about the potential issues with nuclear energy after his own work in the 1920s and 1930s. The experiments Fermi did at Columbia with producing fast neutrons created the chain reaction for a nuclear reactor. The first one was assembled by Fermi and his team was the CP1. This led to the X-10 reactor that was installed at Oak Ridge. This nuclear reactor used enriched uranium to produce plutonium. Fermi's team assembled the first reactor designed for continuous activity. After World War II, the laboratory became a research facility. Today it is sponsored by the Department of Energy and administered or ran by Ubitel. In the 1950s, it made portable nuclear generators for heat and electricity that was sent to remote military bases. Today, it conducts a wide array of chemical experiments, studies nuclear medicine, and created a land database for population count with Landscan that supplies the federal and state governments with up-to-the-date population counts. This is just some of the vast work of the facility. The town is separate from the operating facility. You can tour the facilities. It is a part of the Knoxville metro area and is often referred to as Atomic City. These secret cities, though not exactly like the fictional Eureka, they are company towns of geniuses. Another secret location in this segment is in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. The Mountain Weather Emergency Operations Center. They call it a civilian command center. It really is a command center for the government agency FEMA, or Federal Emergency Management Agency. Officials prefer the name High Point Special Facility. In case of a national emergency, the highest-ranking officials, both civilian and military, will be evacuated there. The history for this facility goes back to the 1800s when it was a weather station. The more recent history was during the Cold War, when there was threat of nuclear attack from the Soviet Union. In 1958, a compound was completed inside the mountain. It is a facility that is set up to house the president and top officials in case of a nuclear or other attack on the White House. It took 3 decades from 1938 to 1969 to complete the compound that exists underground today. They have done experiments to determine how it would withstand a nuclear attack. There are ponds underground for drinking water that are carved from solid rock, and ponds to cool the extensive computer equipment. There are sleeping quarters for several hundred people, and a radio and television studio was set up to broadcast from the facility. There are at least 20 offices set up in the complex protected with concrete in case of nuclear attack. There are diesel engines for electricity and refrigerators used to store food. They have a cafeteria and recreation area along with a hospital that has a crematorium within the mountain. The government officials and president would continue to operate from that location while the threat goes on. After 9/11, many high-ranking officials were taken to Mountain Weather Facility. To this day, it is still part of an evacuation plan. It is in a heavily wooded area and almost invisible to the outside world. Time magazine wrote, "Mount Weather is a virtually self-contained facility. Above ground, scattered across manicured lawns, are about a dozen buildings bristling with antennas and microwave relay systems. An on-site sewage treatment plant, with a 90,000 gallons a day capacity, and 2 tanks holding 250,000 gallons of water. The water could last 200 people more than a month. Underground ponds hold additional water supplies. On maps, the area that spans London and Clark counties in Tennessee. In the FEMA phone directory, it is simply SF, or Special Facility. This facility is top secret. From the historic developer of the atomic bomb in Los Alamos, New Mexico, the nuclear reactors of Oak Ridge National Laboratory, to the completely secret empty Weather Emergency Operations Center, these are only 3 of these secret cities in the U.S.